Season 5. There's no getting around it. Season 5 of NYPD Blue is the weakest season so far. The series, which began as a character drama with some procedural elements, is now firmly a procedural, hitting virtually the same beats at the same time each episode. It's a show about cops chasing crooks, and for maybe 2 minutes an episode, we're granted a brief look into their personal lives. Were it not for the utilitarian look of the show and the unique rhythm of David Milch's scripts, it'd be hard to distinguish this season from the 1,000 other crime procedurals currently airing on CBS. Okay, maybe that is a little harsh. The show didn't receive a lot of press during this year, a tepid review in Entertainment Weekly, and perhaps little else, until Jimmy Smits announced in April 1998 that he was leaving the series. Smits' departure brought to an end a lengthy run of a solid, consistent cast from episode to episode. The cast this year? Jimmy Smits as Detective Bobby Simone. This is the year Bobby marries his longtime girlfriend, in TV terms, Diane Russell, even though we have to wait until the final moments of the season finale. Until then, he deals with Diane's pregnancy and subsequent miscarriage, acts as a sounding board for a few characters, and just keeps on working cases until Smits' contract runs out. We do learn some information about his past this year. In fact, the episode Prostrate Before the Law almost tells us more about his backstory than we've learned in the past 4 years combined. Bobby is the son of French and Portuguese parents. He served in the Army Reserve, or at least that's what he tells the suspect, and he lived in Belize until he was 3 years old. It's amusing that the character's been on the show for so many years and is about to exit the series, and we still know so little about his past. Dennis Franz as Detective Andy Sipowicz. Milch has already established his interest in working out biblical themes through the show, and it's clear that Dennis Franz can handle heavy drama, which leads to one of the standard beats of the series, Sipowicz as Job. This year, his big drama is his doctor's discovery of prostate cancer, which gives us the series' second Sipowicz versus his prostate storyline, and more excuses for Dennis Franz to say prostrate instead of prostate. That one is annoying, since Upstairs John had already corrected his use of the word, even pulling out the dictionary to make this point in a previous episode. James McDaniel as Lieutenant Arthur Fancy. When doing early press for this season, Milch revealed that Lieutenant Fancy would be undergoing a midlife crisis this year and likely having an affair. Never happened. Instead, James McDaniel continues to play utility, with only a brief conversation with an old friend that hints that maybe Fancy's re-evaluating some things in his life. The only real attempt at a Fancy-specific episode this year is Weaver of Hate, which portrays Fancy as shockingly out of character. In this episode, Fancy becomes enraged after he overhears a grieving father use racial slurs in the coffee room, leading to a series of irrational decisions that hinder Simone and Sipowicz's ability to work the case. It's one of the worst examples of the writers just grasping for something to do with an underused character. Over the years, there have been reports of numerous blue scenes being cut, so perhaps there was more going on with Fancy this year. The audience just didn't see it. Nicholas Turturro as Detective James Martinez. Nicholas Turturro disappears for around a third of the season this year, taking a leave to star as Sammy the Bull Gravano in a TV miniseries. His character does have a few significant moments this year. He marries Gina, the PAA, and they have a kid together. How was Martinez written out for a few episodes? He throws out his back during a domestic situation with his pregnant wife. Gordon Clapp as Detective Greg Medavoy. Medavoy also becomes a father this season, even though, 1, the event occurs off-screen, and 2, the kid is never referenced again. The producers put one last try early this year into selling that Medavoy fathers a lesbian couple's child story, but it's essentially dropped after the first few episodes. Medavoy has a few phone conversations with Abby, who's disappeared from the show, then informs us that the baby's been born in between episodes. And that's it. One important MetaVoice story we should have seen this year is his reaction to killing someone for the first time. It's not a controversial shooting, and the character doesn't have any real options in the situation, but it's shocking that this moment wasn't played for some drama. All we get out of it is Diane leaving Greg a message on the phone, offering her support. MetaVoice back to his normal irritating behavior next episode, with no angst or self-reflection whatsoever. Kim Delaney as Detective Diane Russell. Diane's storylines are intertwined with Bobby's, which isn't surprising since they're one of the two main romantic couples of the series. And with Sharon Lawrence only appearing as an occasional guest star, that leaves Bobby-Diane as the only real couple we see on a regular basis. We also see Diane Russell and Jill Kirkendall grow closer during the year, which is a nice use of both characters.